Hello friends, and welcome to the Storyteller's Guide on Gilding Light, where we take adventure storytelling to the next level thanks to our sponsors, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms and World Anvil. In your fantasy story, the band of adventurers are the lead characters who explore the world you've built and interact with the denizens that populate its lands. They meet the quest giver and other folks who encourage them on the journey, and off on their quests they go. Today we're going to discuss non-player characters and the details of how to integrate them into your story. I'm Satine Phoenix, your story guide for today's Storyteller's Guide episode called Introducing New Characters. An NPC is generally used as a way for the characters to learn more about the world they exist in, as well as making the story more full of life. You can experience a world through reactions and character interactions rather than telling the players what the world is like. Other ways NPCs can be used are to provide clues to move the story along or give the group agency in their mission. An NPC can work with the party, helping them with providing items, or against the party, providing obstacles to thicken up the story. You can have an NPC be middle of the road with information or obstacles depending on how the party interacts with them as a way to show the party consequences for their actions. You can even have an NPC that might have an agenda of their own, such as political manipulation through the characters, which could unknowingly challenge the outcome of the original quest. Think about the different and interesting ways you can introduce characters into the game. I like to think about the purpose of the NPC first. Sure, I make a ton of NPCs depending on the location, but sometimes I, the DM, have an agenda of my own. I want the players to have information. Often I'll populate the different areas with NPCs, and depending on who the players want to interact with and how they interact with them, will determine what shade of information is revealed to the party. I personally like this because it gives the players a sense of discovery. It shows that who they are and how they are matter to the world. I don't like to withhold information from the characters, as that can become very frustrating and bum out the players. My games are about conflict, resolution, and the journey to becoming a hero. Allow your players to explore and reveal the world around them. Follow their lead on what is interesting, and never assume that to be true for each group you run your game with. In this same vein, you can give the reason for your NPC to be as simple as they are the quest giver. They are the one who will reveal the true agenda of the adventure. That said, you don't have to offer this quest up front at the beginning of the game. You can do a fake out with some character interaction, world development, maybe even an encounter, and reveal part of the way through the adventure what the true quest is. The quest giver is usually who your party is going to automatically decide to return to unless given other orders. They will be who the party trusts to pay for the quest when all is finished. Consider the kind of person who will convince the group to go on a quest in the first place. If you have someone gruff as your quest giver, you'll have to really convince the party to accept. Sometimes the party needs a little help, and rather than TPKing the group, you can add an NPC to help. Maybe they're the healer or an extra set of rogue hands. Either way, consider an NPC that would help the party, and further consider why they would help the party. Just because an NPC is good at a thing doesn't mean they will automatically join up and risk their life for people they just met. Maybe they're a rebel leader who needs the party, or a rogue that needs to score big to prove themselves to someone more important. No matter what the reason, don't let the group take advantage or bully the NPC. They're a character that exists in your world and has ideals and reactions. Their aid is a gift, and the players should understand that. In a perfect world, we would flesh out our NPCs with rich histories, relationships, and traits just as we would with our characters that we play. But how do we as storytellers develop these NPCs without overdoing it? I often start in all of my storytelling with an outline, a generalized view on the overall world. In this particular case, I'll do an overview of this person's life, from race, class/job, age, immediate family, close relationships to other characters in the world, and even what they look like. If I had more time in my life, I would elaborate on those details. How they got their job will define how ambitious they are. Their age will define their patience. Their relationship to their immediate family might define how loyal they are, and elaborating on their close relationships could show how they perceive other people in their universe. Are they trustworthy or manipulative? What could they gain in interacting with the player's characters? In every scene, each person has a need. Once you develop the NPC, you can figure out what their need is, and your portrayal of this character will have more grounding. With character development like this, you don't necessarily have to come up with an accent for each character. You'll be able to express the NPC by their pacing and demeanor. Now that we have this elaborate character, how do we express their richness to the players? How much is too much? I believe it's in the reveal of the NPC to the characters. Some questions to ask before revealing are: what is the environment like where they find this NPC? Does the NPC seem out of place in the environment or at home? How does the NPC respond to the environment and NPCs around them? What kind of things would the characters need to do to earn the NPC's trust? How does the NPC react after meeting the characters? What kind of memories does a character or the characters bring up in the NPC? What are the physical tells of the NPC's emotions? I know this sounds like a lot, but once you've gone through this process a few times, it'll become second nature and you'll be able to perform your NPC naturally. Sometimes you, the storyteller, need more immersion, and these questions aren't enough. By finding ways to immerse yourself into the world, you'll be able to sell the scene and NPCs better to your players. Search the internet for photos of actors or illustrations that closely represent the NPC and use them in the handout screen in your World Anvil campaign. For more immersion, you can add to your World Anvil world building campaign pins to YouTube, Spotify, or SoundCloud tracks. Adding this level of detail will help set the scene not only for the character, but the kind of scene the NPC might be involved in. I have a couple other thoughts for you about introducing NPCs. Perhaps these will help you in your story building. The first is about the overall view of your story. You can use NPCs to categorize story arcs the way they do in TV shows. An NPC entering and leaving the adventure might mark the end of a larger story arc, so that when you introduce a new NPC, your players can feel like they're in another chapter of your campaign. Idle Champions does this well in their game. Each event in Idle Champions introduces another character from the history of D&D to the game as part of their own event. You get the feeling of being on the journey with the NPC, and are more attached to the world as you learn about it through aiding this NPC. Another reason I would introduce an NPC into a story is to guide players back on any number of tracks I've built for them. This is very sensitive. No one likes to know that they don't have the freedom of choice they think they do. So if you go about doing this, you have to be sensitive to how pushy you are being. You definitely have to give your players a feeling that the following of this NPC is their idea. The moment they feel like you're railroading them, they disconnect from the story and start to play in a very casual, it's just a game kind of way. We want them to be more invested, not less. All this talk about building adventures is making me antsy. Let's discuss this with our special guests and begin our quest here on the Storyteller's Guide after these short videos.
Hi, I'm Benwin Bronzebottom, celebrity dwarf and video game enthusiast, and this is my sidekick, Crowy.
Hello.
We're here to tell you about Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons-based strategy management game from Codename Entertainment. They're Canadian, so you know it's good.
Let's talk about the game. Did you ever play Cookie Clicker?
Of course not.
This game is a management game like that, but with far more emphasis on strategy. And with a flavoring of D&D's lore and legendary heroes, you can unlock your favorite champions like Farida from Aaron M. Evans' Brimstone Angels saga, Minskin Boo from Baldur's Gate, and the fourth and final member of Acquisitions Incorporated the C Team, Amy Falcone's Walnut Dongras.
The K is silent.
Create the best adventuring party possible based on the formation options, your character's ability, and the obstacles and enemies you face.
Or you just randomly click on things like I do and hope for the best.
You can click on enemies to assist your champions, or you can set them up and walk away and let them do their thing. It's entirely up to you.
I'm playing on the toilet right now.
Why wouldn't you be? Idle Champions is available on all your favorite gaming platforms, including tablets, for the low, low price of free. So download it now.
End with joke.
You're not supposed to read
It says end with joke.
No, we're supposed to come up with a joke to go with where it says end with joke.
I don't know. End with joke is pretty funny.
Wait, on three. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
End with joke. I think it's funny. It's very funny.
One of the biggest problems that storytellers face while in session is that when you're searching through your notes and books, you're breaking the flow of the game. World Anvil allows you to manage your lore, the stat blocks of your PCs, NPCs, and monsters, your music, handouts, and so much more from a single screen. Fill your maps with lore and bring your worlds to life by connecting locations, NPCs, races, and monsters to the lands of your world with interactive maps. Track the history of your world, the adventures of your party, and all your major NPCs with timelines. World Anvil is not just for D&D 5e, it supports any other game you want, since you can build stat blocks in any system you're running and play your campaign in it, as every proper homebrew tool should aim to do. Oh, and you can make your own system too. Create an account now at worldanvil.com and join the World Builders Guild. Use the code STORYTELLER for a whopping up to 30% off Master and Grandmaster memberships. That's worldanvil.com. Welcome back to Storyteller's Guide. I am so excited to begin this new adventure. Let me introduce our guests. We have Kailey Bray from Damsel's Dice and Everything Nice, and also Jason Carl, the storyteller of Vampire the Masquerade's LA by Night at Geek and Sundry. Thank you so much for being here. Why don't we share with our wonderful audience who you are, how long have you been gaming, and what kind of games do you like? Ladies first.
Well, I'm Kailey Bray. I'm the DM of Damsel's Dice and Everything Nice. I have been DMing for officially like 2 years. I'm like a baby DM. I don't do it that often. The kind of games I run, I tend to run for new players. So people who have literally never picked up a player's handbook before, and kind of letting them make the game what they want, which is why my games are definitely more story-based, role-playing based. I pick out what the players are looking for out of that game, and I try and make something that'll bring them back to Dungeons and Dragons or whatever role-playing game I run. And it could be like a little crunchier later, maybe, but it's all about the story and the relationships that they have with other people.
Cool. Jason.
Hey, oh gosh, I'm Jason Carl. I have been storytelling, DMing for 109 years, I think. Give or take a decade, I'm not exactly sure. After 100, who counts? The stories I like to tell at the table are multi-layered, and they're always character-driven. I do have a plot, of course, but I like to really explore character backstories and histories and motivations and goals and hopes and dreams. Some people would say I do that so that I can crush all those things, but it's not really true. Those are exaggerations spread by
I think we all know
vampires. Yes, well. So I like to look at what the characters are all about and build the story outward from there.
And that's why I chose the both of you for this adventure creation.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Let me give you the parameters of today's adventure planning session.
There are rules?
There are rules. There's always rules. And it's how you do the things within those boundaries that make for a really good adventure.
Structure the fun.
Structure is good.
Uh-huh. All right. Level 6 characters. How many characters? That's up to you. 3 to 4 hour adventure. Introducing characters within the game, focusing on first impressions. This establishes how those NPCs relate to the characters, and also how to introduce new NPCs in a very clever and innovative and unique way.
Clever, innovative, and unique?
Or unique. It could be 1 to 3, or all 3.
A lot, really. All right.
You can do it.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
So we have 20 minutes to do this. Very, very short amount of time.
Plenty of
That's
time.
more time than you need.
It's true.
That is true. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Where do we begin?
So, 6th level,
6th level.
which is mid-level,
Okay.
no matter what game you're playing,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So you like to build around story,
I do.
Plot.
I usually build around the players too.
around the players, what you know about the people at your table.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to imagine some players, I guess.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we have pre-generated characters? So that way anybody can play this and you already know what your characters are. So how many characters would you like to create?
I think level 6, 4 people, 5 people?
4 or 5,
4,
yeah.
Okay.
That's good, solid. You don't want an even number.
Yeah.
But 5 is good.
Let's do 5.
In case somebody drops out, because somebody has to.
Someone's always got a
Babysit.
scheduling problem. It's
Yeah.
always tough to get people together at the table simultaneously, so you always want to make sure the game can happen, even if one of your players can't make it.
That's smart. Yeah.
So 5.
Okay. What is this group? Who is this group as a unit?
I want to set us up for interesting NPCs later.
Really? Okay.
Um,
Have a concept. I have an idea.
you do?
Yeah.
What is it?
This group is the Retrievers. They go get things that have been lost. Maybe stolen, maybe misplaced, maybe given away. These things have found their ways to people that maybe shouldn't have them, or maybe should have them. And this group is specializing in getting them back.
Okay.
So they might sell their services to anyone who wishes to retrieve things.
Okay, and the kind of players that would be interested in these type of characters sound pretty clever.
Who like puzzles, people who are...
Puzzles, mysteries. I think there's a good opportunity there for a nice mix of action, but also intrigue, because this could be a very politically motivated
Absolutely.
scenario, or it could be very straightforward action adventure with lots of combat challenges. Very flexible.
I mean, that makes me think of Waterdeep, but I've just lived in Waterdeep really a lot lately. So, but if you're looking for something that is that balance of intrigue and action,
So an urban setting.
yeah,
we think.
I would think so.
Okay, an urban setting seems good.
All right, urban setting, bunch of retrievers.
Yeah.
And now that you have that, what are they going for and who's hiring them to get it?
Is this like an Ocean's 11 heist situation, or is it more of a clandestine retrieval?
I mean, I love a good heist, but that's just where my brain lives.
It's like a heist, okay. So
Especially if we've got 5 people,
so
heist would be fun.
I guess the question is, and especially thinking about how you like to design stories,
Yeah.
which side of the law is our team on?
I think it should be Gray. I think
Moral
Whoever
ambiguity?
pays the highest.
I think whoever
So
pays the
mine's good.
highest.
Whoever's got the coin.
It makes me wonder if, and it's just because I like to turn stuff around, if instead of being hired for something, they originally hired someone to help them retrieve something and were betrayed, and now it's a
Dun, dun,
dun.
dun.
Twist.
twist, and
Okay.
maybe that's where there's just like an unusual NPC kind of thing might happen, where instead of you're hired to do a job, it's I hired you to do a job and you screwed me
Didn't do
over.
it. So not only are they retrievers, they're revengers.
Oh.
Whoa.
Revenging retrievers.
That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Stealing for revenge is a fun story, always.
They
Okay.
hired someone to get the thing. Now they have to go get the thing and get vengeance.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Complicated but cool.
Yeah, that's
I
really
like
cool.
complicated stories.
I do
Okay,
too. I like lots
so-
of layers.
Yeah.
How many acts?
3?
3?
I
Yeah.
see 3.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Shakespeare
good.
used 5, but 3 is good. Especially you said 3 hour to 4 hour.
3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, 3 acts for that for
Okay,
sure.
so then 3
Yeah.
acts. Yeah.
All
So
right.
opening, middle, conclusion.
Yeah.
Maybe a prologue or an epilogue at the end. Just
Let's do that.
for
Yeah,
literary
Okay,
purposes.
3 acts and an epilogue.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
There we were, creating an adventure. And it started off with, how does it start exactly?
Should it start with them finding out about the betrayal then?
So the
would
discovery,
spark it up.
of the betrayal. We have been betrayed. We've been screwed. What has happened? The people who they sent are late or delayed, or oh wow, are they so bold as to just thumb their nose at our protagonists?
Or the law comes knocking because it's
Instead of that
Instead
person.
of that
All right, that's it. That's good.
unexpected arrival.
Yes, unexpected. I like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we thought it was going to be our employees, and instead,
everyone's arrested.
someone else.
Oh, and then they have to explain. So the first thing that happens is them in a social encounter.
Mhm.
how to get away from the law, since it is surprising to them. So not giving them a chance to escape immediately. So they have to talk their way out or clever their way out. So this is an introduction of a character.
Is it possible to fight your way out, or is that probably inadvisable? There could be a hair-raising escape, though. They might find a very clever way to flee.
Yeah.
Always
on the way
leave
out.
room for players to fight.
Okay, so there are a lot of off-ramps from this highway, right?
Yeah.
They could choose any method of resolving the challenge.
So any of those shows that you watch that have the cop that comes to the door, usually he doesn't arrest everyone on site. Usually they're there to gather information. So it's like a reversal. They're gathering information from the characters.
So it's a questioning,
It's a question.
right?
So
Are
you don't
you
want to
aware?
threaten them exactly.
You might
You want to set up the what's going on so that the players know what they're getting themselves into for the next 3 hours.
Keep them off balance, but don't make them too afraid to move forward.
So the NPC then is part expository. They're going to set the frame for what's happened here so that we know what the adventure is all about. But they need to be interesting too. NPCs have goals and ambitions and hopes and dreams to be crushed. Or threatened, whichever. So who's come knocking?
He has to have a mustache. Can you please have a
Big,
mustache?
Of course.
beautiful
Oh, yeah.
mustache,
Yeah.
luxurious. He takes great pride in his mustaches.
Yes.
It's his pride and joy, really. It's what he's got now. I
Yeah.
mean, not everything else in his life hasn't
Success
gone on so well.
is
A
through how
luxurious
thick
mustache.
and
That's how you,
long.
yeah, you know how his week's going by the state of that mustache.
The more well kept it is, the
Yeah.
better the week.
Sure.
I like it.
And actually, you can use that throughout the adventure.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a character that it revisits, that the NPC is something the characters can revisit over time to either get information from, use as a part of their plan.
Then maybe this cop isn't always by the book then, right? So maybe they can be persuaded to overlook something, take a bribe. Maybe the lawman
Like
at the
that.
door then is a warning in addition to, it could go either way.
Either way. Maybe he represents more than one interest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe he's playing both sides. You mentioned the gray
Yeah.
area, neither good nor evil. Maybe our law enforcement officer is also gray. He may also be willing to act on behalf of the highest bidder as well. So
Keeps them interesting, not just black and white, like this is the law and these are the thieves.
this is my purse. There need to be coins in it.
I gotta
Help
get
me
all
out
that
there.
mustache wax.
It won't pay for itself, I mean, mustaches like this, they take time, care, dedication. I imagine a special comb.
It's
of
an
some
investment.
kind. Yeah.
That's right.
It's an urban environment. You mentioned that you like really strong urban settings. So our law enforcement officer is probably very busy, maybe even harried, a lot of investigations to do. So not a lot of time. Hurry up, make it worth my while.
Sure. Maybe political aspirations as well, for power.
I think he's got his eye on a position.
Maybe.
All right, so I feel like we need to go
This is
back.
awesome.
This is really cool. I want to go back then. So there was a heist, or they hired somebody to do the heist. That person did not give them the item. What was this item?
Okay.
It's political, because now we've got
Now
a
we've got
link to politics.
Is it something valuable or embarrassing?
I was gonna say it's got to be a secret.
It's got to be something embarrassing.
embarrassing.
Something that somebody doesn't want to be known. Generally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. What would in an urban setting? What would that be? It could
The
be
mayor has dirt on the mayor, which will just, filter down, and anybody who latches on can use it.
something to do with the mayor's family, or maybe how the mayor became mayor, how
Let's do that.
how she got her position, maybe.
Okay, the information on how she got her position. Why did the characters hire this person to get that information? Who paid
Who paid them?
the characters Because all these are all people to interact with throughout the adventure.
We're building a really juicy web of secrets and different motivations that conflict with each other.
Exactly.
Should it be someone who's anonymous then?
They don't know who it is.
They don't know. That maybe they have an idea of who it is, but they don't know.
It's pretty mercenary not to care who your employer is.
And what if the actual employer is the mayor trying to get the information
Please
back,
retrieve
but they
my
don't
diary.
know? Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
All right.
but that's
I
the
like
secret. So the characters don't know who it is.
Unaware of their
Turns
employer.
out it is the mayor. The person hired to get the information. What did they tell the constable or investigator to get them to come to the location?
The constable. That's good. That's a good title for
Yeah.
our
Constable.
mustachioed
Yeah.
enforcement, our
The
peace
mustache,
officer.
yeah.
Yes.
Our harried investigator, right?
Yeah,
Has
mustache guy.
come knocking because pressure needs to be put on our protagonist. Is that the deal? Wow. Okay.
How did they find out that these people are linked to the heist?
hmm Do you think maybe the people they hired framed them?
I would say probably.
Maybe.
Framing maybe an attempted robbery at maybe not the mayor's, but another political official to try and
A rival,
That's- yeah,
mayor's
might be too-
rival,
yeah. might
So
be
the
too
mayor's
complicated.
rival had the item,
Mhm.
the diary,
whatever it was.
and the mayor wanted it back. And then the person who was sent to get it took it. And then
Framed our
framed
characters.
the characters for getting it. And now the constable wants what? Every single character in this adventure wants something. So what benefit does any of this have to the constable?
I think the constable is probably, if the constable has his eye on a higher political position of some kind, the constable's probably aware that things may not be as they appear. I think the constable just wants a payday. Like, which of these conflicting interests is going to offer me the most?
The most security, the most
security, the most money, the most notoriety, whatever it is. What do you got to give me? Well, make it worth my while.
It's a whole lot of Act 1.
It's a pretty solid act one.
Yeah.
It could go in any way.
Set up that
many
whole
exits,
web.
many off ramps,
Yeah.
and the players have a lot of choices about where to go from here.
All right, so what does Act 2 look like?
Oh, they've got to get to work. They've got to get,
Heavy social
yeah.
up front.
yeah, they've got to get busy. They've got to
Yeah.
do the thing now, right?
So what is it they're trying to get? Are they trying to get the item? Are they trying to get information on where the
Tell.
item might be? Are they investigating themselves to try to beat the constable to the chase so that they get the bigger payday, which is the mayor? I think having the mayor pay the most for this information,
makes the most sense.
yeah,
Probably does.
because it has to be more valuable to the characters than everybody else.
So that means the characters have got to set out to do what they hired somebody else to do in the first place,
Yes.
which is get the thing wherever it is. And that means tracking down whoever took it, their employer, their employee. So now they've got to find their former employee. There's a lot of options. This could be a very action-oriented act. It could be
Yeah.
it could be very much a procedural. Lots of investigation clues, a lot of divination magic, and or sensory powers, or it can be pretty rough and tumble.
So you can beat the answer out of
Tell
somebody
us what
too,
we
yeah.
want, or else. You know that mustache you love so much?
Or quid pro quo. Someone say, I have this information, but I need you to
Favors.
do this for me first.
Okay.
For instance, good old Sherlock Holmes, right? You go to the location to find out
Take a look
where,
around.
did anybody see this heist
Are
happen?
there witnesses?
Are there witnesses? Maybe it's some like punk kids,
Yeah.
you know?
Ooh,
or maybe-
street rats.
Yes. Oh, you gotta have street rats.
Yes,
Urban.
street rats.
Okay, and then you go all the way over to where this person was found in the first place. Where did they do that meet? Was it at this person's office, apartment? Go there. Maybe there's some ruffians that they've hired,
Thugs.
some thugs.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna come
Opportunity for
looking for
combat,
me.
yeah.
They look like this.
And there's your
rough 'em up.
encounter.
And
There's
that's
your
actually the
combat.
whole second act right there.
Yeah.
The ruffians may know useful knowledge. street rats may be the real intelligence treasure trove.
Oh, they aren't
But
they
they
always?
But they could
Yes.
lead, the street rats could lead them to the headquarters where they encounter one.
Oh, I like
too.
that.
So you can
That's good.
have both.
That's fun, actually.
Yeah.
The street rats probably want things too.
And there you can witness the thugs and the person who took the item. That's when you get that feeling of we're so close. It's right there.
It's right
we can
there.
get it. But you
Yeah.
can't give it up.
Not yet.
You can't give it up because you need that obstacle. You need to get them to feel like they're about to win. In my opinion, I like to make them feel like they're about to win and then take it all away.
Yank it away. Oh yeah. A little suffering is good for the soul. I hear.
You guys are scary. I
We're
like
very
it.
scary.
I'm just gonna be over here with my princess. It's fine.
Okay, so that's the good second act. Now, to wrap it
Solid.
up, well, we gotta have a chase. It's urban.
Oh, it is urban.
Yeah.
So there's got to be rooftop or sewer chase or canals or streets with many obstacles. Something fun and interesting.
What
So
would you
I
like?
think?
Could be magic and flying chains.
That would be fun. Flying is always good.
Sure.
Yeah, I like the idea of them finding the antagonist and the object, and then losing both, and then realizing that they need to in order to get revenge and the object, they need to have both those people in the same place.
Okay, so they've got to make a choice, go after one or the other, and bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh,
Well,
tricky.
this is where we can come back and grab the constable.
I was gonna say
I think they've got to go
lead
back
the
to
law.
their
Yeah.
mustachioed friend.
Yeah,
Here's our report. Here's what we found out.
this is our idea. Will you work with
This is
us?
what
Yeah.
you think.
Because
We need your help to lay this trap.
There was a chase. We can go get one or the other. Where do we start? Okay, so constable, if they're looking for the payday, has to evaluate, do I get paid and how much? Is there anybody else who's offering more? Or is this the best deal I can get? Okay. What do you think? Is it the best deal we got going?
I mean, I think the players have to make it the best deal.
They have to make it the best deal. So there could be some negotiation.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, you got to put a clock, right? So you need distance between. You need to give the players breathing room to go to either the constable or back to the mayor or back to whoever hired them, and however it is they're going to find more resources. So figuring out where the final bad guy, the person, the employee with the book is, finding out maybe they're going to be at the docks at midnight to get that last boat out of the city.
On the way, they want to rendezvous with the rival who's out to ruin the mayor. So the players, their last chance, the character's last chance is to intercept that handoff. That's it.
Could it happen at a public
If
event?
you blow that,
Make it more.
ooh.
Ooh.
So
I
if
like
the
that.
mayor is having not a whatever fantasy press conference or something where it's really urgent, because if they don't stop this is when the information is revealed.
At the docks, could it be like a dockside festival or a
Ribbon cutting?
night market or a
Anything.
dedication,
Yeah.
something like that? With
New
a
boat,
lot of people.
maybe a new shipping
boat for the
line.
Navy.
Yeah, new boat for the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
commissioning.
name, but the name has a kind of a reveal to it.
It's
That
connected.
links
A
to the
connection
book.
to the
Connected
history,
to
yeah.
the history. you
Yeah,
know,
something
it's-
coy, like the mayor's a little cocky.
Yeah.
like that.
Secret person in their
What's the name?
past.
What's the person's name? It's a super Chinatown.
And it is.
This is a little
Yeah.
bit Jack Nicholson, but that's okay.
It's like Delilah is always one of my
Delilah.
favorite ones
Done,
to just
Delilah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
I like it.
Okay.
So the boat's named Delilah.
yeah,
It's named
that's
Delilah.
all we get from the facts of what's in this book, except for we know that it's going to ruin the mayor.
She
Okay.
does not want the name Delilah out there.
Yeah. But we still don't know that the mayor hired.
No, so far the mayor is anonymous. That may be a reveal at the end,
Yeah.
right? Once they have actually managed to retrieve the item or destroyed it, that could be an option.
Yeah.
Then nobody might get it. If that diary goes into the ocean during the fight at the
Yeah.
docks, those secrets are gone forever.
So,
Or maybe it gets burned up.
Who knows?
Yeah, there's a whole
It's at
lot.
risk. The object's at risk.
Yeah.
Nobody might get it. That's kind of cool. I like that.
I like that too.
One of my favorite story maxims when I'm writing or telling stories is you can get what you said you wanted and still not be happy.
Oh yeah, exactly. So
I like those.
there is a
endings.
fight. There is the getting who's got the book, a little chase through people, or
Confrontation,
maybe
crowds,
on the boat.
obstacles. They might actually get on the vessel.
Yeah.
Sure, as it's pulling away from the docks. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
So, how do we reveal?
Well, the mayor either has to come forward and say, "I'll take that. That's mine," or the constable.
Oh, this is so hard.
Is the constable in on it from the beginning? I don't know.
Does the antagonist have a tie to the history to that book? And
The
then
rival.
there's a
The
reveal.
daughter
Like,
What if the rival is
illegitimate
Delilah?
daughter or the
Ooh,
related.
Yeah.
wow. What if she's connected? She could be Delilah, or at least she knows who Delilah is.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
The
Something the
storyteller
mayor
can
took
decide.
away from that person.
Ooh, deprived of something. So this is all about revenge.
Yeah.
This is the theme. Definitely
Yeah.
here is vengeance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be a dog.
Oh, that's beloved.
Because then you're just like,
a beloved,
hey,
a beloved pet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we only have a couple more minutes left. What is?
What's the epilogue? How does this end? Do we presume we're successful? I don't know. It's been wrapped up in some way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is gaming, right? So
Right.
this is the magic. The outcome could be that the mayor is revealed, and that's how you find out. It could be that they retrieve the item. Everything. This should be on a timeline, definitely. Like
it should definitely be a series
there's a
of time
clock.
checkpoints
Yeah.
for sure. Any good heist has
Oh,
a clock.
Yeah.
If this doesn't happen before X,
Yeah.
Everything's
And if the constable gets the item, they might be able to use it, or depending on how the players maneuver, that all these different characters could exchange any of these items in any way. So it can be all the stuff is improv.
there is no hard and fast answer. I like stories where there's an epilogue that ends at the beginning. So I think in my ideal story, it ends with another visit from the constable, or they're all together at least, and the constable can provide information on what they know and maybe talk about what happens next. Because
Yes,
there's
and on a
always
new-
a next.
yeah, a
There's
new
always
heist.
an after.
Okay, cool. So if they get the book and they return it to the mayor, or they return it to their person, then they find out that it's the mayor, and this is what happens.
This is what happens.
If they don't get the book, the constable gets the book, then that is
Something
the
else
epilogue, and
happens.
that's it. If nobody gets the book and they go into combat and they defeat or whatever, then either they get on the boat, they're stuck on a boat, they go away, they get money, they don't get money if they get it. So I think this is a really good way, this is a good beginning, a good framework for other storytellers to come up with these kind of endings.
There's so many possibilities here.
Yeah.
The conclusion's unwritten.
Yeah, and that, I believe, builds good character of a storyteller.
Yeah.
So this is amazing. What are we going to call it?
Ooh. I think it has to have Delilah in there now.
Delilah's Revenge.
Delilah's Revenge.
Oh, okay. Delilah's Revenge.
So we've got a major clue, and we've got the theme of the story in the
the
title.
name of the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delilah's
Yeah.
Revenge.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on Storyteller's Guide and creating Delilah's Revenge. Why don't you share with everyone where they can find you on the internet?
Hi, I'm Kailey Bray. You can find me at Hoppa Barbarian on Twitter and Kailey McBray on Instagram. And you can find my show, Damsels, Dice, and Everything Nice, at Dice and Nice everywhere.
Nice and nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I'm Jason Carl, and you can find me under the same name everywhere the internets are available, and that's Vampires in Vino. Vampires, the letter N, V-I-N-O, because of course I love vampires and vino.
It is known.
I have heard it said.
And I'm Satine Phoenix. You can find me everywhere at Satine Phoenix. Thank you guys so much for watching the Storyteller's Guide here on Gilding Light. Thank you so much to our partners, Idle Champions, and our sponsor, World Anvil. Till we meet again, dear friends. See you next time.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the Storyteller's Guide here on Gilding Light. Please, in the comments, tell us how you use the hero's journey in your stories. Send us links to your questionnaires that you ask. Let's start the conversation and learn from each other. Thanks again. See you next time on the Storyteller's Guide.